Hey y'all, so this is going to be a little module about how to set up your site so that it is brand friendly. I don't want you to get stuck here. This is someplace that people can sit there and redesign and redesign and redesign, and I do not want you to do that. There are some simple things that I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to show you some sites that kind of have the same thing that I'm going to talk about. They're all different sites. They're very simple steps. And there's a PDF that you can follow that also gives you some ideas of moving forward if you do want to make some changes as to what to think about and how to move that forward. But I'm going to share my screen with you and let's just get started, and I want to show you the things that you need to be right now conscious of if you want to make sure that you can get brands to love your website. So I'm going to share my screen, and all right, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take you to these are all different sites that I've asked permission to show you. This is called The Frugal Farm Wife, and she does do sponsored content. And Elise does a really good job of, once again, here we see a lot of light space, white background. I'm going to show you another site. There's a white background here as well. I'm going to show you yet another site. And once again, you have a white background. White background is absolutely, I'm going to show you my site. Forgot to bring this up. So that you guys can see that I practice what I preach. White background is very, very important, or a light background. Second thing is that you want to have a lot of margin in your site, which means that there's space between everything. So you see how there's space between everything. It's not real tight. I'll go over here. And so she's got margin here in between the posts and the sidebar. You can see that I have margin as well. That means there's plenty of white space in between things so that your eye can rest a little bit and it isn't just overwhelmed with all of these things. It goes back to the idea of your posts and your pictures and things like that are going to be kind of like a billboard. And if you put a billboard in amongst a bunch of trees or amongst a bunch of buildings, you can't see the billboard. So you want to have that margin, because that margin is kind of the same thing as putting space in between billboards so that you can see the billboards. And then the other thing I want to mention is font. You need to make sure you have easy to read font. It is a little bit relative. Everyone has a different idea of what that means. And it really depends on, kind of your eye kind of, but and the age of your people. So you kind of want to make sure you have font that's fairly simple to read, dark font, that your titles, mine is actually a little larger than most people's, your titles are easy enough to read, that your menu is fairly easy to navigate. Most of these guys have their menus right up here on top, and you can pretty easily find it. So you want to make things simple and easy to read. And then the other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you have some sort of an about me or something that speaks to what you're about. And so here right away we see Elisa's face. She has, "Welcome to the Frugal Farm Wife, where I share our adventures in saving money, making money, allergy-free eating, and living healthy." And if you were to click into her About Me page, she has even more information about that. What mommy does, she once again has a little thing here. She's a CPA turned stay-at-home mom of 3 little boogers, and you can tell from the way she says 3 little boogers what her personality might be like because of the way she does that. And then you can read more about her, where she does have even more about who she is, what she's about. Let's see what Holly has. She has a Let's Connect. Let's go see what she has on her About Me page. The Work at Home Woman. So she's got a picture of her right away there, and she's got information about who she is, what she's about right here. She's even got her story of how it all got started. So make sure that your personal touch, the personal thing about you, is right visible on your site. On mine, the homepage is a picture of me. I have Ufta Ya Betcha right away, so you know I'm from Minnesota. You know that you're going to get that feel from me. My homepage talks about my personal belief system about food and the comfort that it brings to families. So I want you to make sure you have that. So far, you need to have white background, you need to have white margin, that means space in between your things, you need to have easy to read font, and you need to make sure that you have something that talks to you about you, that's personal about you. And then the last thing that's also extremely important is that you need to have a disclosure. So almost everyone puts it in their about, so you can see right here is her disclosure. Let's see what she has. She has, oh, it's right here, this disclosure. Let's see where Holly's is. Her privacy and disclosure, right there. And mine is right here on my sidebar. So it's disclosure, copyright, privacy policy. So you need to make sure that you have a disclosure policy, and you can go, I gave you some tools on where to make that, but you can kind of copy and do whatever you want to. I don't want to sound like I'm a lawyer and tell you what exactly to put in there. But you need to have a disclosure policy that's very, very obvious on your site and easy to find. Okay, and then after that is done and you are like, okay, I got those things done. Now what can I do to make my site more friendly? And it would, to me, it would simply be a matter of making your visuals match what you say you're about. And so what I mean by that, Frugal Farm Wife, this is a woman I have met. I'm friends with her. She is a calm, quiet kind of woman, and she talks a lot about saving money and eating healthy. And you can kind of right away from the get-go get this impression that she's quiet, but she's also very down to earth. Her images are friendly. She's got a lot of wood background, red and white in there, but her site is still very, very calm. These whites and these blues are calm. What Mommy does is Lena, and Lena is a very bright, very bubbly personality, and right away you can see that on her site. She's very bright, she's very, very vivacious, very fun, and she's very energetic, and you get that right away from her site. And that's absolutely important for her to have that as obvious as she does. I've never met Holly. I can't tell you for sure if what I get from this is what she actually is. But this is a very clean site that gives me the impression that she is going to be a relatively calm, sincere person that kind of is to the point and wants to just help you move forward and isn't really about a lot of fluff. Hopefully I'm right. She can tell me if I'm wrong. But and then of course if you go to me, I am a fairly bright, happy person, and I want you to feel cozy, comfortable, and warm when you come to my site. And I try very hard to use colors that invoke, you know, homey, comfortable, bright, and happy. So those are things to think about. Is your personality showing up on your website? What to expect from your voice, from the way you talk, what you might expect when someone were to meet you. Is that showing up on your site? So I want you guys to move forward with those PDFs. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to not share anymore. Hello, I'm back. So I want you guys to move forward with those PDFs and get those basic things done, the white space, the margin, the font, and the disclosure policy right away. And then as you move forward with your site, I want you to just constantly be thinking, if you're getting your personality and your point of view and what you're about out there, is it being seen? Are you talking in a way that presents that kind of point of view? Are your visuals in that same kind of point of view? Are your pins in that same kind of point of view? Get that point of view across. That's the thing that you want to constantly be putting forward, because that's the thing about your site and about who you are that is different from another person's, and a brand will pay for. I hope that makes sense. If it does not, remember to email me, Janelle, Janel @nellybelly.com, and I will answer your questions. Otherwise, go ahead and I'm going to throw a comment bubble. I'm going to throw a comment thread in here so you guys can talk about that. And if you want to, offer up your site for a audit for someone else to look at and see what they think. So I will see you guys next module. Peace out.